Hello everyone. Now we'll continue with digesting. In previous video we have done with the tasting part. Now we'll continue with the digesting part. Now here you can see that what all are the organs involved in the process of digestion is mouth. It is also called buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, pancreas, gallbladder, liver, and finally the food is digested through anus. So we'll be continuing with this. We'll be discussing all the parts which are involved in the process of digestion. So let's start. What is digestion? First of all, everybody should have the concept of understanding the fact what is digestion. Digestion is the breakdown of food into simpler components that can be easily absorbed by the bloodstream in our human body. Our body has a proper digestive system. It has some group of organs that work together and convert food into energy. The process of digestion takes place in the gastrointestinal tract, a long, connected, tubular structure that starts with the mouth and ends with the anus. So if we go, what is basically digestion? Digestion is a systematic process that is performed by various organs in our body that are involved in the process to break down the food into simpler components so that they can easily be absorbed by the bloodstream or the blood and can reach out to organs to provide them energy to perform various tasks. So here again I'll show you what all are the organs listed in the process of digestion. Earlier also in the previous slide we have taken a look at that. So now we'll start with the first part, that is the buccal cavity. Here is the picture of the mouth. So our mouth is scientifically known as buccal cavity. So what is buccal cavity? Food is ingested to mouth. The buccal cavity or mouth consists of teeth, tongue, salivary glands. These salivary glands are secreted in our mouth or buccal cavity itself. With the help of teeth, physical digestion of food takes place. So what is physical digestion of food? It means cutting of food into smaller pieces. So while chewing food, it gets mixed up with the salivary glands. And food takes place which helps the food to cut into small pieces, chews and grind it. Further, salivary glands present in the mouth helps in the chemical digestion of food with the help of enzymes known as salivary amylase, which digest the starch present in food into sugar. We can say that digestion of carbohydrates or starch begins in the mouth itself, but the digestion of food remains incomplete in the mouth. We cannot say that the whole food that we have eaten is completely digested in the mouth. No. A small portion of the food is digested, and that portion is the carbohydrates are converted into starch in our mouth. So if we chew food for a longer period, like we say for 30 to 35 times, if you chew the food, we can feel that sweet taste of it. And why do we feel that? Because the food is converted into starch. So when we swallow food, after chewing it, it goes into the food pipe or esophagus. Let's see what is the function of food pipe or esophagus. Now the slightly digested food, it goes to the stomach through the food pipe. That means when we eat food, we swallow food, it goes into the stomach through this esophagus or food pipe only. With the help of peristaltic movement, food is pushed into the stomach. Now what is peristaltic movement? The contraction and expansion of the movement of the walls of the food pipe or esophagus after entering the slightly digested food is known as peristaltic movement, or we can say through this movement only the food enters into our stomach. Now the most important part of the process of digestion is stomach. You can see the picture of the stomach here. Yes. Now stomach. What is the function of stomach in the process of digestion? Now food is churned in the stomach for 3 hours. We have got our food into the stomach through esophagus after chewing it. Now the food further breaks down into smaller pieces and form a semi-solid paste. It means it reaches to our stomach. And what is semi-solid paste? Semi-solid paste means this paste is having a liquid texture to it. Now glands that are present in the walls of the stomach secrete gastric juices. Our stomach has gastric juices that contain 3 substances, mainly hydrochloric acid, enzyme, pepsin, and mucus. The protein digestion begins in the stomach only with the help of pepsin enzyme. So, the process of digestion, the breaking down of food starts from the stomach itself. Now we'll continue with the small intestine. Yes, here you can see the picture. It is surrounded by large intestine. Now small intestine. Small intestine is a long thin tube and it is about 1 inch in diameter and about 10 feet long. So it is a long tube, you can say. It is located just inferior to the stomach, means next to stomach, and takes up most of the space in the abdominal cavity. As you can see, it is 10 feet long, so it is taking most of the space in the abdominal cavity. Stomach releases in small amounts into the small intestine. Stomach releases the semi-digested food to the small intestine, and it is the organ of the human body where complete digestion of food like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats takes place. And the small intestine receives the secretion of 2 glands, that is liver and pancreas, and help in the digestion of food. Now intestinal juices also help in the carbohydrate digestion. After digestion, the molecules of food become small and pass through the small intestine and goes into the blood. So from here probably the complete digestion of food takes place and it then passes into the blood. Here the digested food is also absorbed. So the food that is digested by a body is absorbed in the small intestine itself. Now we'll move on to large intestine. Now large intestine. Large intestine is a long thick tube about 2.5 inches in diameter and about 5 feet long. So it is smaller than small intestine. It is located just inferior to the stomach and wraps around the superior and lateral border of the small intestine. The wall of the intestine absorbs most of the water from the food and makes it solid. So this is the most important function of this large intestine, that what is it doing? It absorbs most of the water that is there in our food and makes it solid. And the rectum, that is the last part of the large intestine, where the solid food for some time is stored. So in the rectum, when this food is digested and absorption of water has taken place, that solid part stays in the rectum for some time. It is stored there, and then it is ejected from our body through the anus as feces or stool. So yes, now we'll move on to the digestive glands. Now 3 digestive glands are associated in the process of digestion, and these are pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. Here you can see in this picture, pancreas is. Now pancreas, it is known for blood sugar regulatory function with the production of insulin. So pancreas is basically associated with the regulation of blood sugar in our body. Digestive enzymes are secreted by the pancreas that are released into the small intestine, and with the help it helps in the process of digestion of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So the most important function of pancreas is to regulate the blood sugar. Now we'll move on to liver. Yes, liver, it produces bile juice which secretes enzymes and helps in the digestion of food. So liver is the gland which secretes bile juice. Now the last is gallbladder. When fatty food enters the small intestine, the gallbladder contracts and releases bile which is stored in it. This is the task of gallbladder. Thank you children. I hope you liked the video. This is Shalini Bhardwaj signing off. Thank you. God bless you all.